All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Friday. Happy Friday to everyone out there. June 28th, we got a full MLB slate to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, we're going to go through each and every one of these games. I'm going to give you my lean on the side. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props or parlays that we like within the games as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye on the pinned comment for all of my final plays so that I'm actually rolling with myself. If you do want to go ahead and fade me, all my final plays will be in the pinned comment. Yesterday, not the best of nights. 2 wins, but honestly, it was kind of like 1 win, right? We had the Twins team total over. Say that 10 times fast. But we split a unit throughout those 2 plays. So it really was a 1-3 night in all honesty, which isn't all the best. But what I can say, and if I'm trying to spin this in a glass half full sort of way, we've now had really good night, bad night, really good night, bad night. At least the good nights in the last, this week, right, have been better than the bad. So that's how I'm trying to spin it. That's how I'm going to try and keep the vibes positive here. But I don't think a 2-3, more like a 1-3 night is all that good. And same thing with the ride of the day, man. Got to drop the womp womps coming in from CW Brendan. Matt Olson over 1.5 bases. I guess no one really looked all that tremendous in that Braves game, but he does not come through for us. I like the spot. I like the plus money play. Guys, if you don't know what the ride of the day is, we need a winner in the comments today. I know there's tons of winners, and people are going to be like, you should have picked mine and all that, and that's all true, but the way the ride of the day works is you use that hashtag ride of the day in the comments. I jump on board with one person's pick, and I give a shout out to you in the next video, win or loss, but I pick the play before the games, and, I put my money where your mouth is, trusting you guys have the research and have the feeling. So, yeah, we've had a couple days in a row now of the ride of the day not coming through. Let's get it back on track. Give me your best plays in the comments. I'll be jumping aboard with one person's pick. I know we're seeing a lot of winners in there, but like I said, you can't just pick everyone, right? But if you are looking for picks and plays and sort of inspiration, go to the comments of this video and get active because there's tons of good plays over there, even if we don't ride with one of them. But real quick, before we do get into the rest of the slate, before we even jump into the slate, I do want to tell you that today's show is brought to you by BetMGM. I've talked about MGM for, what would I say, probably like a month and a half now, because I've come to realize that their same game parlay odds just trump everyone else's. Yesterday we had a couple same game parlays. Neither of them hit, but that's on the better, not the book, right? But minus 120, minus 125 on DK or FanDuel, like those were literally minus 200, minus 180 type of same game parlays, yet we're getting them at a price that's super digestible. So if you have not checked out MGM yet, add it to your arsenal, add it to your repertoire, get in line there, use the link in the pinned comment. You're going to get this amazing deal, right? Your first bet, if it does not cash, you get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets there. They break it up into multiple bets as well. It's bonus bets, not bonus bets. So go ahead and check out MGM, guys. That link is in the pinned comment. Like I said, if anything, trust me on the same game parlay odds. That is where I think that they make their hay and seriously have a huge advantage over other books. But I'm always encouraging people to try and have more books than just 1 or 2, because getting the best odds is super, super imperative. But let's go ahead and jump into game number 1 here. Make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button and hitting that like button. Super, super, crushing, I guess, super crushing on the subscribe button and like button as of late, so I appreciate the hell out of that. The picks have been good, but let's make them great today. Let's make the picks great again. We got Philadelphia taking on Miami here. On the mound for Philly is going to be Chris Sanchez, going up against Kyle Tyler, who we only have 1 game of a start from him this year, which was, like a week ago or so. So overall, I think that we have a huge pitching advantage over Philadelphia. Sanchez has been really good at home this season. Philly's at home, and you have the fact that Philly just got beat by Miami, right? So it's like this is such a bounce back spot for them overall. I'm having a hard time not playing Philadelphia. I think I'm looking at them both on the team total over as well as first 5 run line. You get that at minus 156 right now in Caesar, so it's like that's still a lot of juice, but I do think that Philly wins this one. Hell, yesterday they won the first 5 as well, lost the game entirely, you know what I mean? So I like Philly on the first 5. That's going to be my main lean in this spot. I don't mind their team total over. I'm thinking they get to 5 today, perhaps, but overall, in terms of a total here, I don't really want to touch both, the combined total, the game total at 8.5, because I don't know what the Marlins are going to do. They just scored 7 runs yesterday, not against Wheeler, right? Kind of the Philly bullpen sort of let them down a little bit. I would say that I don't want to trust the Marlins to go and do that again, so I'm going to lean towards the team total over for the Phillies. but probably not even come close to touching that game total overall. So yeah, give me Phillies on the first 5 run line, potential play towards their team total as well, and that's how we would kind of work in the over. I also have a player prop I'm not minding here. We have Jake Berger under 1.5 bases, minus 140 right now on DraftKings. Juicy play, but I like the spot. Yesterday, he went deep, which if you look at his season, when he's hit home runs, he's been on cold stretches, pretty much thereafter, which is a good spot. And in his last 10, he only has gone over this line in 2 of those games. And what I really like is he's going up against a left-handed pitcher today in Sanchez, right? 171 batting average against lefties this season. You got to love to see that. He is going to see a sinker, changeup, and slider out of the 3 main pitches. He strikes out a lot against the slider, which is great, but that changeup is really a rough pitch for him, and he's going to get that 33% of the time. So I could see this being a good spot for Jake Berger to go under 1.5 bases. My one concern is any guy could end those bases in a one swing type of a thing. So hoping and praying that that's not the case, but I like his spot on the road this season. He's hit the under in 57% of games on the road against a lefty. It switches to he's hit the under in 70%. So I think it's a good spot for a Jake Berger under. Next up, we got Tampa Bay taking on Washington here. On the mound for Tampa Bay, slated is going to be Zach Eflin going up against Mitch Parker here in this spot. Eflin being a righty, Parker being a lefty. This Tampa Bay lineup, I don't know if anyone really knows what to do with it, right? Are they going to be scoring runs? Are they not? They just had their last 2 games scoring 11 runs, followed up by a 2-run game, right? So a little iffy on them. When it comes to Washington, their offense looks like it could be in a good spot. That San Diego series, they lost all 3 games, crazy enough, but they went 6, 7, 5 runs. The offense obviously was there, but I'm thinking both teams, or I'm thinking the Rays can kind of continue what they did in Game 3 of their last series, and the Nationals come a little bit more down to earth. So I think this is a decent spot here for an under. Do I love the fact that we're sitting at 7.5? No, not necessarily, but I could see a first 5 under here for sure. If we can get that at a nice price at say 4.5 for minus 120, that'd be ideal. I don't know what it actually is as of right now, but keep an eye on the pinned comment because that's sort of where my mind originally went to. But if we can go under 4.5 for anywhere between minus 120 and minus 130, I like the spot. I'm not necessarily saying that these pitchers, Eflin and Parker, are going to go out there and dominate, but they're serviceable enough, I would say, that these offenses shouldn't cream either of them. Pause. But one thing I would also say is that Parker's going to throw tons of fastballs. That's his not only pitch, but one of his main pitches. And Tampa Bay, not a very good fastball team. 19th in terms of runs above average this in the last 30 days. So yeah, I think this is probably a first 5 under as my main play. If I look at this and I say, where am I leaning money line? I think all the value is going to be on Washington, solely due to the fact that we're looking at a Tampa Bay team, which I started saying I don't trust, in the minus 160s. You know what I mean? So not that I love Washington here in this spot, but I'm not going to be caught dead paying a price for Tampa Bay at minus 160. You know what I mean? That's just a little bit too much. So I'm going to look at some sort of an under. I'm thinking first 5, as well as Tampa Bay here as well as Washington on the money line, solely because I'm almost fading the idea of Tampa Bay. In terms of a player prop, kind of in that same line, Zach Eflin under 18.5 outs has hit in 8 of his last 10 games. He's hit the under in 71% of games this season. When at home, though, he's hit the under in only 40, so that's a little something to be worrisome about. But if I think Washington, somehow puts up, let's say I want the under, but Washington full game is like a 4-3 type of a win, I don't think Eflin's giving you necessarily 19 innings. He's pitched about 6 1/3. Let's see, I have that up in front of me. 6 1/3 this season. Only 4 times. You know what I mean? So I think it could be a spot, but I think I'm much more willing. Like I said, my main play in this spot would be first 5 under, but if I had to make a player prop or I was in some player prop pool, I don't necessarily think Eflin's going to deal today. Whether or not Washington gets to him, I think that he has kind of like a 6 innings capped type of a night overall. With, you throw in the fact of fresh bullpen, even though their bullpen's not all that great, but with a fresh bullpen, I just can't see him going, 6 1/3, 6 2/3, anything like that, in all honesty. There it is. In all honesty, it took us, a couple minutes to get into that. All right, Baltimore taking on the Rangers. Scherzer is the listed starter for the Rangers. I think that's a big point of note here. In his only start of the season, coming back from the 60-day DL, pitched against Kansas City last week. 5 innings pitched, only 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, 11 pitches per inning, so he did his damn thing. He's going up against Suarez, who really was pitching well for Baltimore, and then his last couple starts here, the wheels fell off a little bit. The problem here is you look at these two teams and you say, okay, well, one offense is good, one offense is kind of struggling right now, right? Like this is a Rangers offense that's supposed to be based on, being able, like, look at where they were last year type of thing, right? Like this is an offense that's supposed to hit the ball. They're really not doing that, so I do struggle to get to Texas, but I think I'm going to put my back in here in Scherzer. We've seen plenty of his career be good, right? But then we saw him kind of come in from the injured list, and then all of a sudden, or the DL, and then all of a sudden pitch well again. So it's like, this is a different beast. I understand that this is a Baltimore offense that, is very good against righties and all that, and Texas doesn't hit righties all that well, but you know what? It's Max Scherzer. I'm going to give him a little shot here for plus money, so give me the Rangers, maybe on the first 5 money line instead of the money line because those bullpens are so different, and Baltimore's bullpen's fairly rested. They didn't have to use really anyone yesterday, right? I think Baker went, but I don't even know if maybe one other guy, right? So I do think that, having Kimbrel and Cano, everyone pretty much ready to go. Even the guys that pitched yesterday should be able to go again. So I'd rather go first 5, take a plus money swing here. But if you are on the Baltimore side of things, I do think you're getting a little bit of a good price there as well at minus 135 because I think the hype is on Scherzer. So if you are backing Baltimore today, I really can't talk you off of it. I'm just thinking it's worth a little bit of a sprinkle and a chance to try and take the Rangers here in this spot. In terms of a total, I don't mind the over, even though I'm saying that, Scherzer could pitch well. I mean, this is a bad Texas Rangers bullpen, and Baltimore is a very good late inning scoring team. Like, even look at yesterday, right? They scored, I want to say it was like 3 or 4 runs from the 7th inning on. You know what I mean? Like, that's an over type of a spot. And even if Scherzer goes out there and doesn't pitch well, you're going to get some early runs. I think an over is probably the move here to some degree. And speaking of overs, look at this transition. Head on over to FadeMe.store, guys, the merch brand we have here on the channel. 3 new tees. Sold a bunch of these yesterday because we did the promo. Good Day. We'll have that coupon code again. You're going to spell it just like this. No spaces, right? Good Day, only it's not no space in there. GOODDAY. You're going to get up to 20% off today. Yesterday we had 50% off, though that went quick, and then all of a sudden it moved to a 20, right? Today we have it's a randomized discount you'll get. So you use Good Day. The minimum's 10% off, so you're not going to get screwed, but the maximum is 20% off based on if you use it. And here's a key. If you refresh a couple times, you might get a better discount code. I shouldn't tell you that, but either way, I want you guys to get the merch, whether or not I'm making the most coin or not. But 3 cool shirts that we just launched. Parlay Day keeps the doctor away. Self-proclaimed sharp. I like this one because, you look closer and it's like self-proclaimed, but you're walking around with a shirt that says sharp. But we all think we're sharps as sports bettors, right? But then we have It's a Good Day for a Parlay, which was our best seller yesterday. Comes in black and white. Still got all the sizes available. Bought into this one pretty damn big. So go ahead and check it out, guys. FadeMe.store. I'll put a link in the pinned comment. But again, FadeMe.store if you just want to head over there. And then the promo code is Good Day. GOODDAY. No spaces. You're going to get between 10 and 20% off. Go check it out. Continue to support what we're doing. Appreciate everyone yesterday that picked up some merch. FadeMe.store. Let's jump back into these games. Toronto taking on the Yankees. Kind of surprised by this one yesterday. Barrios goes and pitches a good game. Toronto wins 9-2. I think it does set up for a decent spot for the Yankees. Now, I've been saying that for a while. I think they've lost 9 of their last 11, something like that. And 4 straight. So it's like, at some point, this Yankees team is in trouble. I feel like we're not talking about it as much as we should, but I do think you're getting a good price with Stroman on the mound today. The Yankees going up against Kikichi, which, again, they're batting a lefty. They're not as good batting lefties, but because the Yankees are playing well, because, I still believe in their offense, and because you're getting a good price for them, I think because they're not playing well, right? I think that you're getting a decent price. That kind of correlates. So I'm going to lean towards the Yankees today. Again, you're getting Stroman, who's supposedly their ace. I don't know if you could really make that argument, but minus 112 today, I'll take that on the money line. I think very rarely you're going to get that. And it's not like Toronto's been playing good baseball either. They've lost 7 of their last 10. Just so happens they've won 2 in a row, making us kind of forget that, and winning game 1 of this series. So I think you have 2 even teams here, one with an offensive edge and advantage. And again, Stroman maybe against old team kind of fires it up a little bit. So give me the Yanks on the money line here. In terms of the total, it's sitting at 8.5. I almost want to look at Toronto's team total under. They scored 9 runs yesterday. If you look at the recent game logs, actually I say that with kind of tongue in cheek because I believe they scored 8 or 9 runs against the Red Sox the game before. But point being is that this is not a consistent offense. They'll give you 3 runs just as fast as they'll give you 9 runs in a sense. So I think I look at Toronto's team total under, thinking that Stroman has a decent outing, which if you've watched him as of late, he's been kind of spotty. So main play in this one's probably going to be Yankees money line, and it honestly has a chance of being a final play. But we shall see where we come out with the total. I don't like the overall total because I almost want the Yankees offense to kick it into gear. So I think the way that we'd play this would be Toronto's team total over. All right, Red Sox taking on the Padres. This is a tough one, and I would say most of these Red Sox games as of late have been tough because of the lines you're getting. Now they're coming off of a loss. They're doing what the Mets are doing to some degree, but not getting talked about as much. I do think that this is probably a spot for the Red Sox. I think if they win today, though, their odds tomorrow are going to be terrible because you have Tanner Houck on the mound tomorrow. I'm not sure who's pitching for San Diego. Let's see if we can have that Michael King. So it's like, yeah, I do think that this is a spot in which we should almost want the Red Sox to lose tonight because I think it's going to be value tomorrow, but that's not how sports betting works. So I'm going to lean Red Sox on the money line here. They've just been playing too good of baseball for me to really pass it up. In terms of a total, it's at 9.5. One of these pitchers is going to have somewhat of or I should say this, one of these good offenses is going to have a little bit of a lackluster game. That's what my prediction would be. So I'm going to lean under, maybe first 5 under, but that's almost targeting the Randy Vasquez side of things on San Diego, which he stinks out loud. So a little bit of a tough spot to take a first 5 under, but overall I don't think this game gets to 10 runs, which Red Sox is probably my main lean, honestly, but I could almost see this game being, like I just said, a game in which one of these pitchers pitches well, meaning that one of the teams struggles to get to 3 or 4 runs, which obviously would lean towards a nice under. But do we put trust in Randy Vasquez? That's the question. I kind of trust Nick Pivetta. He's on the mound for the Red Sox. He's looked pretty good at home, and I want to trust him against these San Diego bats, but he's also had some issue starts as of late. You know what I mean? So we probably just stick to the Red Sox money line because you know what? Screw the total. If the Padres go out there and score a bunch of runs, then you know what? The Red Sox can score more. Maybe we cash the money line. But my eye is on tomorrow's game for sure, more than this one. But, we got to talk about it today. I'm not looking, I was going to say what a garbage series, but that sounds a little strong. But you know what? Look at these two teams. You got the White Sox taking on Colorado here. Like, how can you not? These two teams have sub 33% win rates this year. You have Drew Thorpe on the mound for Chicago going up against Dakota Hudson, which I'm surprised that guy's still in the league. He's one ball away from flipping burgers. Like, this is just not a series in which I'm totally interested in. So we're not going to spend too much time on it, unfortunately. But you are an absolute psycho if this is one of your favorite spots today. Overall, I'd lean towards the Rockies just because I think, getting plus money for either one of these teams is the move. Plus 110 for the Rockies, sure, but I don't think that makes its way into being a final play. When it comes to the total, it's tough because you have 2 bad pitchers on the mound, but it's like, but what are these offenses going to do? I'll still think that this one's a 5-4 finish, so slightly lean towards the over. But guys, if you're thinking one way or the other about this game or this series, don't let what I'm saying impact you, because this, literally, when I say we break down every game, we do research, I probably spent 3 minutes on this game, and 2 of those were puking just looking at the numbers. Now this, on the other hand, we have Mets, red hot Mets taking on the Astros. This, I think, is going to be a good one here. You have the Astros, who honestly are on an absolute tear, right? And you have the Mets, who are on an absolute tear, coming out of a massive, small, but big series, Subway Series there too, right? Both teams won 8 of their last 10, and you're getting good odds on either side. So similar to one correlation and similarity to what we just talked about with the White Sox and Rockies, I would say, if you're thinking one way about this game, don't let me sway you. This is definitely like Ev is telling you what he likes in this spot, and I think that this is an Astros team that can stop the train of the Mets. They're on the road. Do I love that? No, but Ronel Blanco, I think, has a massive edge over Jose Quintana, so I'm going to lean towards the Astros in this spot. I think you're getting a good price. Like, this team has won 7 straight games, and you're getting them at minus 115 today. Seems like a good price. The Mets, I understand it if you're on that side. Like, I don't even mind the Mets somehow getting to Blanco and then maybe even the bullpen. So I wouldn't mind if you want to bet this one, you're looking at like a team total over for the Mets, because just look what they've been doing as of late, right? 12, 9, 5. Then they had the lackluster 1, and they had an 11-run game. Earlier in this 10-game stretch, they had a 14 and 11 run. Like, they've been scoring. So regardless of who they're playing, I don't hate their bats. I just think that this has been a pretty damn good Astros run that it's similar to, you know what I'm saying about the Red Sox? It's like the Mets are stealing the show right now in terms of like the run they've been on, but there's other teams in the league that are kind of stepping it up. Like Spencer Arrighetti Spaghetti pitched well last game, and it's like, I think that guy stinks, but look at how he went out there and pitched well against Colorado, but you know what I mean. So I'm on the Astros here. I think in terms of a total, I'd also lean towards the over, regardless of both these pitchers pitching well. Like, you got to trust one of these bats are going to come alive, right? So give me the Astros. I'm fading the Mets yet again, which has been the dumbest thing in the world, because I'm one person, like when I was on the Sausage Show, Kyle Kerms talking to him and Toast, I was like, yeah, I just haven't jumped on the Mets. They've been making bank on the Mets. I have yet to jump on the bandwagon, and I've been kind of fading the Mets and getting slapped in the face. So it's like, take it what you want. Take this with a grain of salt, but I'm on the Astros today as well as the over, but more likely to pull trigger on the Astros. In fact, getting a little risky here, I could go Astros-Yankees moneyline parlay for some damn good odds. Minus 112 for Yankees and minus 115 for the Astros. Both those teams, obviously good teams. Like, you're getting some value there, so we'll see. We'll see. I almost feel like both those don't win type of thing. One of those is going to, meet expectations of today, but nonetheless, that could be a nice little spicy parlay as well. We'll see. All right, Atlanta taking on Pittsburgh. By the way, guys, if you made it this far into the video, comment 20, and then let me know in the comments when you see 20, who do you think of from an athlete? It doesn't have to be baseball or any specific sport. To me, as a massive Celtics fan, I think in the early 2000s, Ray Allen ended up kind of winning me over as the number 20 because of the championship run and just being a massive Celtics fan. So that's what I think of when I think of 20, but 20 is such a good sports number that there's plenty out there. But Ray Allen's going to be my answer for that. Let me know in the comments when you see number 20. First off, comment 20. When you see number 20, though, what athlete do you immediately think of? Mine, like I said, Ray Allen, I think. There's plenty of good 20s out there. But nonetheless, guys, we got Atlanta taking on Pittsburgh. Charlie Morton on the mound here. Pittsburgh obviously isn't, I wouldn't say, a backable team as of right now. Atlanta coming off of a weird loss yesterday, right? 1-0 they lose against Chicago. Chris Sale pitched 7 innings, though, so it's a really interesting kind of spot. Pittsburgh almost, I think in their last 10 games, are a very profitable team, actually, but up against Atlanta with these odds, kind of a fishy spot. Like, I can't really talk myself into backing Martin Perez for Pittsburgh, and Charlie Morton I also don't think is worth minus 190 on the Atlanta side of things. So this is probably maybe a Pittsburgh team total under, and that's just backing Atlanta's bullpen, hoping that Charlie Morton goes out there and pitches well, but that's kind of the only spin I can put on this game to see myself getting to. So that's almost like betting Atlanta and the under at the same time, but give me Pittsburgh team total under, probably my only spot there. I know we don't have many player props here in this spot, but I don't mind a few unders in bases. King of the bases reporting for duty. Adam Duvall under 1.5 bases. These are all just guys that are trending in the last 10, and I like the matchup. Adam Duvall under 1.5 bases. Matt Olson under 1.5 bases. Brian Hayes, who's made us bank this season, under 1.5 bases. And then I had one more. Nick Gonzalez under 1.5 bases. So we'll see. I don't think I'm going to play all 4 of those, but those are 4 considerations that I'm going through right now. So keep an eye on the pinned comments. Some of those may end up being final plays. But overall, this is the numbers don't make me want to jump on this game other than a potential play for Pittsburgh team total under. All right, KC taking on Cleveland. Actually, for fun, last night I ended up, I was watching this game with my dad. I was over at his house, and we bet Kansas City live line at plus 250. They end up winning the game. So I don't count those towards the show's record or anything like that, because that's just kind of like a nice little random play, we can call it. But nonetheless, Kansas City coming in as underdogs yet again today. Alec Marsh on the mound going up against what should be Tristan McKenzie, who, weirdly enough, doesn't have the best season numbers, but has actually pitched pretty well on the road. And I don't necessarily hate the idea of betting Cleveland today. Marsh hasn't looked all that great in his last 5 starts, 3.8 ERA in his last 5, averaging just 5 strikeouts a game with 2 walks. So I think this could be a decent look at a potential play for Cleveland because they're in a bounce back spot. Like I said, I got the live line at plus 250 for Kansas City yesterday, and it cashed. Like, they realistically should have lost that game, and they didn't. So I think that this is going to be a spot in which I consider betting Cleveland only because of the bounce back, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sit here and act like McKenzie is an all-world type pitcher or anything like that, but overall, could be a decent spot. I also don't mind for plus money here, Alec Marsh over 1.5 walks. I just said he's been averaging just nearly 2 walks, but he's had 2 walks in 3 straight games. And then before that, he had no walks against Seattle. Okay, that team strikes out more than you read about, right? But his 5th most recent start, so 5 starts ago, he had 3 walks against San Diego, which is another swinging team. So I think this could be a good spot. You're getting plus money, plus 110 for him to have over 1.5 walks. So I think that could be a good spot. My one concern concern is that this is a Cleveland team that does not strike out a lot, which you might be thinking, okay, that means he's going to lead to walks, but they don't walk a ton either against righties just because they are such a good hitting team. So they put the ball in play more than they do walk. But this is more or less fade Marsh. Maybe he does end up being able to, walk a few. And one thing to note, I should have mentioned this, there's a ton, and I mean a ton of lefties in this lineup for Cleveland. Marsh, if there's one kind of glowing spot, he does hit pitch against lefties well. So if you're on Kansas City for plus money, plus 105, go for it. I'm on Cleveland today, though. In terms of the total here, this is set at, I think it was, 8.5. It's set at 10. I think it's a 5-4 game maximum, maybe 5-3. So I'll lean towards the under, but yesterday was 2-1. They probably do have some runs in the tank. So again, if you're on Kansas City, if you're on the over, I'm not going to try and fight you off the cliff. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. You see what that says up in the top of the screen, right? It says Evs. How do I do this? Angle it. Boom. Evs MLB Picks. I'm not saying the best bets in the entire world on the screen. I'm giving you what I'm doing today. I think fading the Cubs is still able to, pay off here. It's interesting because this is a Cubs team that I just can't really. I mean, they won yesterday, but that's not an easy win for them. Imanaga pitched okay. Like, I didn't see anything redeeming yesterday, even though they win 5-3. You probably look at that and you say, oh, that's great, right? But they got, 2 runs in extra innings. Like, for the most part, that was another game in which they just kind of mulled around. So I'm not on the Cubs here. I think Milwaukee, you got Colin Ray on the mound going up against, I believe, Jameson Taillon. I think there's a slight pitching advantage. Milwaukee, they have the better bullpen, and I don't think there's any question for offense. So simple one for me. I'm trying not to overthink it. Give me the Brewers here on the money line. I think you're getting a decent price. Right now, the best price available is going to be minus 135 that we have on the screen. So, yeah, could be a decent spot here for the Brewers overall. In terms of a total, this one I don't know where because I like the offense for the Brewers. And I've also seen Rhea have some bad starts this season, right? So I start thinking like, okay, now I'm a little caught in between what I want to do in terms of a total, but ultimately I think I have to lean towards the over because I want the Brewers to get to Taillon. But like I said, it's tough to kind of sit there and want to bet that when at the end of the day you're saying the Cubs offense isn't really great. So probably a Milwaukee money line. That's going to be the main play here in this spot. And then no major player props jumping off the page to me as of right now. I could see, Cody Bellinger over bases, that type of thing, but nothing that I'm really jumping to the window to place. St. Louis taking on Cincinnati, and I think Miles Michaelis took some years off. Like, he pitched 4 1/3 and let up 1,000,000 runs. It's like they had that was a good read yesterday. It just did not work out for us. But man, oh man, that scarred me from betting anything in this series because both pitchers just didn't look all that great. St. Louis had so many opportunities to score. The final score was god-awful. So I think in this one, I think St. Louis probably puts in a couple more today. In terms of a pitching matchup, I guess it should be a little bit better for them, maybe. But Palante's on the mound going up against Frankie Montas. Like, neither pitcher I like or anything like that. So give me St. Louis because of the home favorite. I'll kind of lean towards that direction. But nothing I'm going to bet in this game. I can almost guarantee that. In terms of the total, coin flip. I think this is a coin flip right now in terms of odds that you're getting for over 8.5. You're getting minus 110 for the over, minus 105 for the under. I'd probably just take the better odds, whatever you can get them at. Maybe even say over 9 for plus money. Yesterday, Cincinnati kind of pushed that over, obviously. Maybe St. Louis does it today, but this is another series on the slate that I'm not exactly thrilled about, and I'm just being honest with you guys. Like, I don't want to give you a St. Louis play and be like, rah, rah, go Cardinals, when I'm like, I couldn't really care less. But I do think that there's a little bit of an edge, for the Cardinals here, especially coming off a loss. But when I say little edge, little, like bad. Angels taking on Detroit. Didn't really see this one going as it did yesterday. Jack Flaherty pitched a game in which, he had a decent amount of strikeouts, but got to, and that was it. 5-0. Angels win. Angels have now won 4 straight. They've won 6 of the last 10, and this Tigers offense just continues to struggle, which is tough because a game like today, I'd say, you know what? They're going up against Zach Piesek. Like, I don't even know much about the dude. Kent Tomado's on the mound, but is Detroit's offense that bad? Like, should Detroit truly be minus 116 dogs here? Favorites? I don't know, really. So I'm going to lean towards the under 9. You can get that at minus 115 right now. That's my main play because I don't think either one of these offenses is all that superb. If I had a gun to my head, I think I'd say Detroit money line in a bounce back spot, but they're not playing good baseball. Like, they have not scored over, actually, I think they had the one game against Chicago, right? Where they scored 1,000,000 runs, but they have not scored over 4 runs in forever. And as of late, like, they're giving you 1 to 3 runs, 0 yesterday. So how can you back that, right? I reluctantly lean towards Detroit, but I do not mind an under, even with 2 bad pitchers on the mound. I think the offenses will struggle a little bit more. hopefully. All right, our only good read yesterday was the Twins team total. We cashed that. We laddered it a little bit over 3.5 and over 4.5. The 4.5 paid out pretty well, so that's nice and dandy. But that was a quarter unit win on the plus money, 3/4 unit play on the easier one to hit. Today we have Bailey Ober on the mound going up against Logan Gilbert. Logan Gilbert's been really good at home this year. He's having a good year overall, so I shouldn't even say just like at home, but like at home, pretty damn filthy, which kind of tells me that Minnesota's offense may cool off a little bit against him. And if Minnesota's offense cools off, this is not the spot to take Minnesota. You know what I mean? Like Minnesota's offense has been, that's the reason that they've probably, I would say, been able to win some games like 13, 8, 4, 10, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like they've been scoring some damn runs. In some of those games, they've even lost, right? Against that Tampa Bay, they scored a bunch of runs in one of those games and lost anyways. Seattle's not playing the best of baseball, but I will say with Gilbert on the mound, they're 3-2 in their last 5. His last 2 starts, he went 8 innings pitched in both of them, right? Both of those games, 8 innings pitched against Texas and Miami. So say what you want about the offenses. Allowed 2 hits, then 4 hits, no earned runs in either. 15 combined strikeouts, 1 walk, and averaged 11.5 pitches per inning. So Gilbert's kind of on a tear here. I don't think this is a spot to fade him. Give me them on the money line. Do I think the argument could be made that the Twins offense for plus money could be too good to pass up right now? Sure, but them playing a game yesterday, then traveling here to Seattle. They were in Arizona, I believe, so it's not the craziest of trips, but not the best spot, I would say. So yeah, give me the Mariners here at home, kind of waiting for this team to get there. Mariners just took a win last game too a couple days ago, so could be a decent spot to kind of back Logan Gilbert. Maybe due to the bullpen here. Now, Seattle's bullpen isn't all that terrible, but I might look at first 5 money line instead of full game money line just in general. Now, Logan Gilbert's also really, really good against lefties. Gonna have, I would say, 4 or 5 lefties in the Minnesota lineup, so that helps too. But they do have like Correa, Buxton, some big righties there. So another argument for Minnesota, just not enough for me to get to their side. In terms of the total, it's sitting at 7. Seems like it's a little bit too low. I know I'm talking about Gilbert having a good game and blah, blah, blah. This is still a good Twins offense. They hit righties well. This could be a tough spot to take an under 7. So I'll lean towards the over, but more likely to play Seattle on the money line here. All right, we got Arizona taking on Oakland. Slade Ciccone on the mound for the Diamondbacks, going up against J.P. Sears. Kind of enough said there. Like, I'm not saying Slade Ciccone is all that great, but you have 2 meh pitchers, bad at best maybe. But this Arizona lineup should be a hell of a lot more sustainable when it comes to offense than Oakland. And, you know, Oakland is literally the worst team in the league at hitting fastballs. Ciccone throws 60+% fastballs. So easy lean from here to Arizona. It's going to be a matter of can we pay the -150 price tag. That I'm not all that stoked about. Now, what I will say is that neither offense is all that tremendous. I do think the Diamondbacks, like I said, they should be able to sustain a decent amount of runs here. But that's me saying that is like 4 or 5 runs and 8.5 total here. I think this one's like a 5-3 game at maximum, 4-3 game, 5-2, that type of thing. So I think I actually do like the under in this spot. I also don't mind a Nerfy in this spot. I think both these guys, one time through the lineup, could have a little bit of success. I also don't mind the Nerfy in the previous game we talked about either, by the way, with Ober and Gilbert. So throw that in there. That might be a final play. But yeah, I could see both these guys having success through the first time in the lineup. But I do think Diamondbacks money line could be a final play today. It's going to be a matter if I can swallow those odds. -150 seems a little bit too crazy. But yeah, give me the under and give me the Nerfy and give me Diamondbacks. I think that those all could be viable plays today, honestly. And that's me saying that with a little bit of confidence, and I don't even love the matchup. You know what I mean? Like, I just think this could be a don't overthink it type of spot. Arizona should be able to beat Oakland. All right, we pretty much have a pick'em between the Dodgers and the Giants here. San Francisco not playing the best brand of baseball. They did take 3 of 4 against Chicago, but other than that, really not looking all that great. They lost the series against them recently, and I wouldn't say the Dodgers, I was going to say the Angels, have been tested in what seems like 2 weeks. Colorado series, Angels series, White Sox series. Like, yeah, they're sweeping and winning these series, but is that all that much to brag about? You have Logan Knack on the mound, who has actually looked pretty damn good. I think he has 5 starts this season, 1.2 ERA in his starts, and he has struggled on the road. He's going up against Logan Webb, who obviously is the better pitcher here, but are we passing up / overthinking a Dodgers -108 play? That's kind of where my head goes. Like, I know Logan Webb's good. I know that he's probably got the advantage over Knack, right? But you don't very often very much get the, am I speaking English here? You don't very often get the Dodgers at minus 108, right? Like, that's why we took them against, who'd they play? The White Sox 2 games ago, and I took them first 5, minus 105, thinking, like, that seems like it's a weird, like odd situation. Am I walking into a trap? They win 4-0 through the first 5 and full game. So another one here where I'm going to say I know Logan Webb's good. But this Dodgers team, guys on this roster, I've seen Logan Webb plenty, and I think that they can kind of get to him and win this game. So I don't want to overthink it. Give me Dodgers on the money line because you're getting them for such good odds. When it comes to a total, this total being low where it is interesting to me. So I think I'm actually going to trust what we see out of the books with this sort of aggressive line and lean towards the under. And it's another spot where I don't mind the nerfy either. So it's kind of funny. We close out the last 3 games with the 3 games here that I like the nerfy, but this could be a spot too because Knack should be pretty good one time through the lineup at the very least. And then Logan Webb, like I kind of trust him for 3 outs as well. So we'll see where we come out here, but I think the Dodgers, I just don't know if I'm overthinking it or underthinking it, you know what I mean? But I think it's Dodgers as well as an under and a potential nerfy play as well. And guys, it's going to wrap for today's show. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that damn like button, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, appreciate everyone. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.